Hey Stampers, I'm Meg from Loven Stamps, and this is Maker Mornings with Meg. Today's card uses a stamp set that I will be sad to see go because it represents just a really great sentiment that comes in handy when maybe other sentiments don't quite work. So the stamp set is wildcats, and if you're thinking, yes, they're tigers and leopards, how does that represent a special sentiment? The one that is really important to me is this one that says you are fierce. And sometimes we have cards we need to send to people where just someone's fighting for something, right? So maybe a get well card isn't appropriate and you are fierce is really the message that you want to send. But there's all kinds of things that we stand up for in our lives. And so you are fierce is a really great message to have in your stamp collection. And this card, the stamp set will retire on May 2nd, so don't miss out on it. It does have coordinating big cats dies, which are super fun for lots of things. And I think, let's see, I don't know. I had some big cat cards around here. We've used them in Maker Mornings with Meg before, but I don't see them right now. So we're going to use one today. But instead of using wildcats with the dies, we are going to make the most of the last chance list and bring in several special punches that are also staples, I think, ones that you'll use on lots of different projects. And we're going to do some punch art collage or punch art collage, or however you want to run those words together, to really make the most of them. So we've got our cat punch, we've got our tailored tag punch. These are heavy. If I drop them, it will be bad. We've got our sprig punch, and the last one is actually from the clearance rack. It is the small bloom punch. So if you don't have any of these, this is a really great opportunity to build up your punch collection, and at a really great offer price. So don't miss on those. And link is in the video description here, as always, for the usual supply list. So, all right, good morning, guys. Hey, Kay, I'm glad you made it. Hey, Cindy and Tanya and Sandy and everybody else who's watching, whose names I don't see on the thing. So I'm going to go ahead and flip you guys down, and we're going to go ahead with this card. So I'm going to give you some tips on putting the punch pieces together, some tips on using your designer series paper, and we're going to make that You Are Fierce card, which is just an outstanding sentiment to be able to share with someone. So, all right, I am getting this all set here. So the designer series paper that matches this stamp set is the, sorry guys, is the In the Wild paper, and it is right here. So these are my sort of my scraps of things that are left over from cards that I've made. And there are a lot of great designs in here with the jungle print, and you can use them, of course, coordinated with a stamp set or not. So I'm going to go ahead and use this leopard print here as the basis for our card. So we're going to go ahead and use the 3x4 card layout. So, usually I kind of show you the different ways to do this, but the sneak peek is gone, right? Because I've already got the cardstock cut here for you. But basically, I have this piece of leopard paper. I'm going to go ahead and mount it. This is a 3x4 piece, and I'm going to mount it onto a 3¼ by 4¼ piece of coordinating cardstock. So that is Cajun Craze. And we're going to go ahead, Cajun Craze will come in handy when we are doing some of our stamping. So this is going to layer here, and instead of doing just a regular sideways fold card, I went ahead and did the long ways fold. Remember, when you cut your cardstock to 4¼ by 11, you always want to score in the center. You never want to just fold it, because this is going against the grain of the cardstock, which is called the hand of the cardstock. And against the hand, you're going to get a crack when you try and fold. So make sure you score there with your Simply Scored kit, Simply Scored tool, or your trimmer. And then we're going to go ahead and mount this on here, but I'm going to give it some Stampin' Dimensionals to pick it up a little bit. So I really was having fun putting this card together for our video today, and the number of punches that were on the amazing special rack was fabulous. So that was kind of kind of cool to get all of them together. So all in one place, back for one final appearance, one final stage or something like that. All right, so we have our card base here, and then I'm gonna bring in this light color here for our cat because I want it to be kind of the focal point here. It's our main image, and I really love that our greeting is going to be the "You Are Fierce" here, and the tigers and so forth, and we have some of this tiger paper that we're going to use inside our card. But I kind of want to like do it's kind of like a play on the theme, right? So we have this little pussy cat, sort of small and unassuming, and then we're gonna like ramp it up and remind people that they are fierce. So we're gonna go ahead and give this a base, right? A lot of times I talk about giving this someplace to sit or someplace to stand, so it's not just floating like this. So I'm gonna bring in the soft suede cardstock and the tailored tag punch, which seriously is one of my staples, especially for cards that you that aren't like girly girl cards. This is a really great greeting shape. It's a great thing for layering. You can do a lot of times you'll see it used as a repetitive element where people will do like paper or punch piecing on a card background. It's just really an outstanding element and shape to have in your collection. So don't miss the chance to add it. Plus, hey, discount, right? Okay, so we got our cat there. We are going to want some, let's see, we're gonna want some elements to go here into the background of this. So our sprig punch is also on the last chance list. And sprig punch is one that I find super handy because it's so quick to just add a little tiny touch of greenery behind any flower. I mean, you could use the sprig punch and, you know, just the little small bloom punch together. You don't necessarily have to stamp on a punch element to make that element really stand out. So sort of the silhouette effect with not stamping on it is a great way to accent a piece too. So, all right. So let's kind of piece some of these together. I think I'll put one back there, and maybe one kind of up here. Okay. And then I want to bring in some bright color, and the colors for this are all selected from the In the Wild paper. If Stampin' Up! Artists put these colors together and said it goes with this theme and this stamp set, then who am I to say otherwise? I'm just going with their expertise, so I've just copied their colors. You can always get the color list from the back of the Designer Series paper pack. All right, and then let's look at adding some of these flowers here. And then we want to add our greeting. So I said we're going to use the "You Are Fierce." Instead of using black, I'm going to use Evening Evergreen, which becomes like our dark neutral for our greeting. And we're going to go ahead and stamp this one here, "You Are Fierce." And I'm going to stamp it kind of near the edge of that paper. I'm going to trim it. And then I think this is too chunky for us. I want this to be a little bit tighter. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring in my trimmer, which is hands down my go-to when I need to do some like little fine trimming on things. So I'm gonna open this up and get my scoring blade out of the way. And one of the great things about this trimmer is that when you put your cardstock down and you use your finger to press on the plastic and lock it, you can cut right across there and you know your piece is not gonna move. So it's a really outstanding trimmer. Not all trimmers are equal, that is for certain. Okay, so now let's see if I put my greeting out here and then pop another flower back. Maybe this flower goes here in the background and maybe I get this a little lower. There we go. What do we think about that? All right, so kind of piecing our elements together to kind of get them where we want them. And now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna start to adhere stuff. So good morning in Oregon, Roxanne. It's an early morning for you guys. All right, so I'm gonna use my multi-purpose liquid glue for some things, and I'm gonna go ahead and use Stampin' Dimensionals for a couple things. And so let's go ahead and use, first of all, the easy trick is to stick some things down with Stampin' Dimensionals. And I really want our cat to be at the forefront of this card, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop our kitty on there like so. And now those pieces are stuck. This one I think is gonna go in the background. So I'm gonna put a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue on there and pop our flower down. Our greeting we want to be sort of foreground. So I'm gonna put a dimensional on the back of that and slide this. Let's see, actually I probably better adhere my cat element first. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some multi-purpose liquid glue on here. I don't want it to get too like wobbly and poppy-uppy and so forth. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that there. All right, so I got that glue that's gonna hold. Now remember, with multi-purpose liquid glue, things don't grab instantly. They grab permanently, but it takes a second for them to just yank on there. So, all right, so I'm not gonna mess with that too much. And then I'm gonna pop our greeting. And I really want it to go off the edge here. I don't want it to line up so that it has a little bit more, you know, motion and stuff to it. So, and then that flower I think is gonna go very nicely right there. So since I'm not sure exactly where to put the glue, I'll put the glue on the back of the flower, which makes it easier to just stick that on there. Okay. So we have our You Are Fierce. Now I am going to add some bling to this. And as I was flipping through the last chance list, I noticed that the Playing with Patterns resin dots are on there. There are actually a lot of great things about these, but I love the colors. And this bumblebee here, this yellow, is a great match for bumblebee. So it's kind of a crushed curry bumblebee kind of color. And I'm gonna pop in some of our elements. We're gonna kind of focus on our greeting here with our color and our focal point. Yeah, the cat's on there, but it's not meant to be our main focus. So, and then I'm gonna put one more kind of up there, okay? So there we have the front of our card. Now the inside of our card, I have the inside of our card and the envelope to show you. And I am going to show you the most miraculous trick for getting the stripes on the tiger. If you haven't seen this trick, just like, oh my gosh, I was flipping through the catalog and I was looking at them and trying to figure out exactly how they did what they did in the catalog. And then I was like, ding, big aha moment. So I'm going to show you my aha moment. So I don't know, maybe you guys have already seen it. All right, so inside our card, we have our greeting here, which I'm going to stamp with this one that says, there for you always, which is a nice sentiment to go along with our You Are Fierce. Like I said at the beginning, let's see, Marcy missed it at the beginning, so I'll just say again, sometimes you want to send a card to somebody who's in the middle of a battle, whether it's a health battle or, you know, all kinds of other things that people you know, or have to fight through. And so sometimes a get well card isn't ideal, and You Are Fierce is a much better sentiment. So we're gonna put this reminder in there that we are there for them. All right, and then we have designer series paper. Now here is a philosophical question for you. Similar to if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, if you have designer series paper that never goes on a card, does it even exist? I'll let you think about that for a second. So my point is use your paper. There no points to the person who has the most designer series paper hoarded. So I am going to go ahead and use this big piece of paper right here inside our card because you know what? It's gorgeous and it goes with our theme and it reinforces our greeting. So why wouldn't I just use that? Okay, so this is cut to 5 by 4 1/4, which is the sort of big mat size to fit on a card there. So, all right, so use your DSP. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and take this and put this over. So we have some tigers peeking out from the back in a nice way. Now, if that really, really stresses you out, you can always, you know, use your Stitch So Sweetly dies, cut yourself a big rectangle out of the middle, and then you will have that rectangle too. You can have your DSP and use it too. But my point is just use your paper because it is so pretty and saving it for the perfect project. You know what? Every project is a perfect project. So does DSP, yeah, Sue likes the does DSP even exist? Okay. So that is going to be the front of our card and the inside of our card, but I still owe you that trick here. So we're going to stamp an envelope, and I decided that vanilla was a better match for this card than white. And whenever I use vanilla, I always get a comment from somebody that says, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you use vanilla. I like it so much better than basic white. And I hear you. So we're going to stick with vanilla for this one. And so that's what I've used on our front and inside. And I have this super cute, I don't know, he's not really cute, but super amazing tiger. And he needs some stripes to look very tigerish. So we have this and we have this. Now, usually the method is to stamp this and then take this and put the overlay over it. But you know what? I'm going to show you this trick. And this trick, has to wait 1 second because I have to get the other part started. I find that putting the face on this tiger, the tiger face details, is so much simpler if you do this first and then put this over the top. So I'm going to use this for kind of vague placement. I always like to decorate the bottom left corner. And I'm going to turn this so that it's about in the right place and about the right orientation. If you're not sure, you can always practice stamp. Oh, I think I got it a little too far over. Nope, pretty close. All right, so there we have that's where our tiger is gonna go. But here's how we're gonna do our two-step. So instead of stamping 1 and then stamping 2 in the paper, we're gonna ink our cat in Cajun Craze. Make sure he gets nice and inky there. And then we are going to kiss these 2 stamps together. So the kissing technique is where you take a stamp, you ink it in a darker color usually, and then you kiss it against the other one. So mwah, like that. And so I'm going to take this and I am going to kiss this tiger stripe here on our tiger. And I want him to be a little stripey in here also. So I'm going to do it twice. Okay. And then let's see, maybe out here just a teeny bit. I'll give him another stripe. All right, so now our stripes are going to perfectly match the shape of our tiger. Do you see how that works? I know. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stamp this now. Pardon me if my head is in the way. And there we go. So now when we stamp our tiger, he has his stripes and they are exactly fitting his body. So it can be tricky to stamp the tiger and then try to put the stripes on top of him like that. So this is a much easier way to go. And I kind of missed on his head a little, but yeah, he's pretty good. It's a little bit forgiving. So there we have our card and our envelope to match. So let's see, Margie says, oh, she loves putting DSP inside the card and people say it wastes the DSP. And yes, that's right. Leaving your DSP sitting there because it's beautiful is a waste. Does it even exist? So that is our philosophical question for the day. If the designer series paper never makes it on a card, does it even exist? Let's see. All right. So let's see, I'll come back here. I hope that you guys have some fun ideas from our project today. Remember, Wildcats is only until May 2nd and it will be gone. And the greetings in here are super fabulous for some occasions that we sadly need sometimes. So, and then also there's Have a Wild Birthday. So you could, sometimes there's a party animal. Thanks, You're the Beast is kind of a fun one. It's a great punny stamp set and then also a really meaningful one. So I would not miss this. And link is in the video description. And then remember those sort of staple punches that we used today. They are really outstanding ones to have in your collection. And at this point they're like half price, a bunch of them. So definitely go over and check what is available. Remember that when you order at least $50, you get a card kits to go from me in the mail. And for the month of April, they feature flowering rain boots. So you can either make the cards as they're designed or you can use whatever stamps and stuff you have on hand. But your little packets come with the pictures and the directions and the pre-cut elements for those cards. So let's see. And then also you get PDF tutorial for those 4 projects from this month. So I think I feel like there's something, oh, yes, there is something else I wanted to tell you guys. It was that Paper Pumpkin refills. There are several of them that are like half price of the half price kind of thing. So they're refills, so they were $10 for all of the stuff that was included, except they're $5 for while supplies last. Now you do have to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber to take advantage of Paper Pumpkin refills. If you're not a subscriber, why not? But if you're not a subscriber, you can sign up. You could just get Paper Pumpkin for 1 month if you want. The Paper Pumpkin that's coming in May is going to be the Celebrating In Color kit. So it's going to include features of the new In Color. So you're going to want that anyway. So even if you just subscribe for 1 month for kicks, you can do that. Information for that is on my website at lovenstamps.com. And then you'll want to make sure that you sign into my online store with the same email address that you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin with, so that you get credit for that. And Facebook just sent notifications for our video today. Woohoo! Way to go, Facebook! Anyway, yes, so lots of people like Kissing Technique, and lots of people happy to start using their designer series paper. So when I check in with you on Friday, I will look forward to hearing about the designer series paper that you guys have used over the last few days to make some cards. So, all right, have a wonderful Wednesday, and I will be back on Friday with another Maker Mornings with Meg. And in the meantime, make sure you check the supply link in the video description and see what you might like to add to your collection. So thanks, guys. Have a fabulous day. Happy stamping.